Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in the Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. Today, in honor of LGBTQ and Pride Month, we're chatting with director Ryan Sarno and actor-producer Sergio Acevedo, currently starring in the film The Greatest, which is a 1960s LGBTQ feature. Ryan Sarno is a New York based director and production designer known for Entitled, which is on Amazon Prime, and the film The Greatest that he produced, wrote, directed, and set designed. Sergio is a New York based actor and model. He has appeared in Saturdays, Blue Bloods, Law and Order, and American Horror Story. He's currently starring in The Greatest. Now, The Greatest is a 1960s LGBTQ drama set in New York, exploring a love triangle between Jay and Beverly Mcklien and Ricky. Inhibited by his conventional life, Jay is forced to confront his darkest secret when having to choose between a life of normality and authenticity. It's a story that truly challenges societal norms as Jay and Ricky embark on a forbidden romance, risking everything. Today, we're going to dive into their experiences, collaborations, and insights into the film industry in making The Greatest. Welcoming now to the show are Ryan and Sergio. Welcome, superstars.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So proud of both of you. Congratulations on an incredible film. You guys truly poured your heart and soul into this, and I can't wait to pick your brain to find out how it all came about. Congratulations.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Now, the 1960s were a transformative time in American history, and it was really marked by significant social changes, civil rights movements, and cultural shifts. And according to the National Endowment for the Humanities, films set in historical periods often require extensive research and attention to detail to accurately depict the era. Now, your commitment to authenticity likely resonates with audience and critics alike, without a doubt. Ryan, I would love to know The Greatest, which has been making waves in the film festival circuit. Given the historical context and the meticulous effort you put into production design, what inspired you to set your story in this particular era, and what does this film represent for the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, so I've always had a love for the 50s and the 60s, and I always had my mindset on shooting something in that time period. But I'd say my inspiration for this came from a lot of real life experiences. I relate very closely to the main character, Jay, and I kind of took all the emotions that I was feeling during this time and created this fictional story that's also very real for so many people during that time period in so many different ways. But I think it aligned perfectly because this time period was the height of injustice, as you were saying, for the gay community, right before the riots and all the equality started in the late 60s.
And it's interesting because balancing multiple, you're a director, you're a storyteller, you're a production designer, so balancing multiple silos in the entertainment industry is no easy feat. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, actors and producers often face fluctuating schedules and even job uncertainty. So your ability to navigate these challenges and really succeed in diverse roles and making diverse content is truly impressive, and that really offers valuable insight for aspiring actors and producers and multi-talented artists like yourself. So congratulations to you. Now, I have a question for you, Sergio, my dear. You've had quite a dynamic career, from landing your first commercial at age 10 to starring in major TV shows and now playing a lead in The Greatest. How do you balance the various facets of your career, like acting and modeling and producing, but still staying true to your artistic vision and really your authentic self?
I think it's all a matter of balance and, being very organized in everything that you do. I enjoy all of it. So all of it is a passion of mine. I enjoy everything that I do, whether it's the acting, the modeling, producing, helping Ryan the past 3 years with this film, which is how long it took to shoot this independent film. We would shoot on the weekends, and it's just a matter of balance and just keeping your eye on the prize and being your authentic self in every kind of way.
And collaboration is key in filmmaking, right? Collaboration in a film can make or break a project. Successful films, you know this better than anyone, often result from strong partnerships between directors and actors, and truly your combined efforts likely brought unique perspectives and strengths to The Greatest, which enriched the storytelling and the production quality. Now, this question is for both of you, but Ryan, you can go first. As a director of The Greatest, how did your collaborative process influence the final product? And were there any memorable moments or significant challenges that really shaped the film over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I think when we had our table reads together and did our rehearsals, I think one of our main goals was to make sure that you felt the struggle of each one of the characters and exactly what they were going through. We really wanted to make sure that came across on screen. But I think one of our biggest challenges that we worked very closely together on, Sergio and I especially, was casting the older versions of our younger characters. So casting the older version of Sergio, the older version of Isaac. It was a very interesting process because we realized that people in the age bracket, like actors, men actors in the age bracket of 60s, 70s, and 80s, were a little reluctant to play a gay role and portray themselves as, a male on screen. So after a few denials for the role after auditions, we were like, wow, this is really tough. And like it just shed light on that whole like, wow, this is still like a problem and we still kind of have a long way to go. And this is amazing that we're telling this story for this exact reason. But I think that was one of the biggest challenges that we had to face during this. We eventually found our older actors, Jeff and David, and they were amazing and it was perfect at the end of the day. But that was definitely an eye-opening challenge that we went through when casting.
It's all about timing.
Yeah.
Now, Sergio, as an actor and producer of The Greatest, how did your creative collaboration process influence the final product of the film? And what were some of more of your memorable moments or challenges that helped you help shape the film?
So I met Ryan in 2018. I actually auditioned for him for his TV show pilot entitled, which is now on Amazon Prime. And from being on set in 2018, shooting that, building a friendship, and everyone on set just became a family. And from that, he presented me the script. I read the script. I was like in tears by the end. I was like, this is incredible. I'm totally down to be part of this. And because of that friendship and that relationship we built, over the years, it was very easy to collaborate and go back and forth with ideas. And Ryan, as a director, was very open to letting me be an actor and just, he was like, try this and, be free to try that. And I was just open to, doing me, but also having his direction in it. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. And I think the only challenging thing was maybe continuity, having the same hairstyle for the past 3 years. We would shoot on the weekend. So we would do a scene one weekend and then go back to it the next weekend and have to remember what did we wear, where was this at in the scene. And I think that was the most challenging thing for me, was the continuity.
Continuity of it all. Well, yeah, that could definitely be a huge damper in production if you miss one beat there. I know even for myself, I have to stay continuous with the outfits based on these episodes. Now, true. Now, New York City has long been a cornerstone of the film and entertainment industry. According to NYC's Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, the film and TV sector contributes billions to the local economy and supports tens of thousands of jobs. Now, as a director and storyteller, Ryan, how do you see inclusivity evolving in the industry in the context of filmmaking and content creation, especially in a bustling creative hub like New York City?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been seeing a lot more stories that are being told like The Greatest. I mean, three of my favorites that inspired The Greatest are The Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Moonlight, Call Me by Your Name. Those were huge inspirations for me. I think it's really important to tell stories like this so we understand where we came from so we could learn and grow. But I think we're also starting to see a lot of content that's being made where being gay isn't the focal point of the story or the main conflict of the story, which is amazing. And I love that. It's very progressive and moving us away from stereotypes and just making a gay character just a regular human instead of instead of making it the aid of the conflict to the story, which was a very common thing to do in TV and television in the past. But like I said before, I think it's very important to understand our past to understand our present. And that's why I think stories like The Greatest are very important to tell.
It's so important to demystify the stigmas surrounding gay and LGBTQ community and the history of it all and the psychology of it all. It's like you said, normalizing it begins with normalizing it, right? Now, representation in media is more crucial than ever. I was reading a report by the UCLA Hollywood Diversity Report, and it emphasized the growing demand for diverse voices and stories in the entertainment industry. So your background and experiences undoubtedly bring a unique and authentic perspective to these roles and to these stories that you're telling, enriching really the narratives and connecting with a broader audience. So what you're doing is no easy feat, but you've done a great job. Now, Sergio, your diverse heritage from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, combined with your upbringing in Pennsylvania and Florida, must have actually really provided you with a cultural perspective, a rich cultural perspective. How has this influenced your approach to acting and storytelling, particularly in the project The Greatest?
Yeah, so my stepdad was in the Army, so we grew up moving around a lot all along the East Coast. I've lived in 7 different states. I moved every year until I was in 10th grade. So I think with all that experience, I was able to meet so many different types of people, so many types of different cultures. And I like to observe people. So I've had experience in observing a lot of people and how this person does that. How does that person, do the mannerisms or how they talk and everything like that. And I think that's really helped me with acting. And when it came to The Greatest, I actually reached out to my grandfather, who in the Greatest I play Ricky, is a poor Latino Puerto Rican in Spanish Harlem. And my grandfather was actually that in the 60s. He was in his early 20s, just like my character Ricky. And I called him up one day just to do more research on the film. And, my grandfather's like 86 now. And I was like, hey, Papa is what I call him. I'm doing some research on a character on a film that I'm doing in the 60s. I want to know everything. Like, how'd you style your hair? What kind of clothes did you wear? Did you say certain things like slang back in the day? And he goes, well, Sergio, I really don't remember. That was such a long time ago, but you can Google that, So I ended up Googling it, and I ended up watching a lot of videos, in the 60s, like how people dance, and I saw West Side Story a lot of times. So I did a lot of research with that. And I also reached out to Ryan's partner, Jose, DJ Hovies. He's a DJ. We call him Hovie. And, I sat down with him, and because I play him in the film, essentially. And I sat down with him. We had a heart to heart. And, I really wanted to know what he went through in his experience, which really helped me. All these aspects and things help me with my character, basically.
Wow. Well, you've come full circle, my dear. We are at the end of our time. This interview has been quite amazing. I got to get such nice and deep and authentic insight into your process and to who you both are, and got to know you a little bit more. And now I'm even more excited to watch the entire film. Definitely have you come back on in a couple of months to re-promote this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. Nice meeting you.
That was Ryan and Sergio. Thank you for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. Really, their dedication truly to their craft and their collaborative spirit behind The Greatest serves as an inspiration, at least to me, when I see this trailer, and to many in the industry. We truly look forward to seeing more of their work and the impact it will undoubtedly have on audiences and in the filmmaking community. That was our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. You could check them out on the gram at Ryan Sarno and at FlowGIO and at @thegreatest_movie. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, 0 additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.